Okay, friends, welcome to another fresh series of videos. This particular series is about business statistics, and in today's video, we are just going to introduce the subject to you. And so, therefore, the video is going to be much shorter compared to my other videos. Okay, so uh, just a reminder that in this video, we will try to cover all important aspects of basic statistics. And please note that we are not covering advanced statistics here. We are primarily focusing on basic concepts that are required from a management scientist perspective, and then, like my all other videos, much more focus will be given on applicability or the application part of the process or the subject. And therefore, the intended audience will be the industry experts who want to apply these concepts in day to day operations, and obviously, plus students, students of business education or management science or operations management or operations research or maybe basic statistics. Those students can actually use this particular model to learn basic statistics and the application part of it. Okay, so then in this particular course, I am going to cover the entire course into in four parts or four modules. In the first part, I will discuss descriptive statistics. The second part will be covering the probability and distribution. And in the third part, since after completing descriptive statistics and probability, we will focus on inferential statistics. And then in the last part, we will just give a brief introduction about the sampling process and the sampling theory. And in the entire course, I will be using either Microsoft Excel or Minitab in order to implement the calculations and the statistical methods. And maybe sometime I will use other software. For example, I may want to use SPSS for some of the models here. So I may or may not, that depends on your interest and uh, actually is it required or not. So that we will see, but mostly it will be Minitab and Microsoft Excel. Okay. So next I'm going to introduce you the basic concept of statistics by asking you a question, that is, what does a statistician do? So in order to understand that, let us consider this particular question. If I give you, I ask you this particular question, that is, what is the average age of a person in New York? So what will be your answer? Well, if you are not a statistician, then you may answer in various other ways. So for example, you may say that as far as my knowledge is concerned, the average age of of a particular person in New York City may be 40 years or maybe 50 years. That is based on my experience or whatever. But a statistician will never talk in this manner. So what he or she will tell you, actually, that statement can be subdivided into two particular aspects. The first of all, it is related to the accuracy. That means how much accurate you want to know the average age. That means I cannot give you a specific number. For example, 50. It is a specific number. I cannot give you that. So, as a statistician, I will always give you a range. For example, 40 to 50, or maybe 50 to 55. So this type of range I will specify. So, and after that also, I am not 100% confident that the citizens will have their age in that particular age band. For example, I am not 100% confident that the citizens age is between 50 to 55 years. So maybe I am 90% confident, right? So these two aspects I will cover. So first of all, there will be a confidence. So whatever I will tell or communicate in my reports, that will have some kind of confidence. So 90%, 95%, 99%, whatever it is, that will be there. And secondly, accuracy of the measure. That means that this range, this particular range. So this is just an example. So this may be range also, this may be something else also. That is not the point I am discussing here. I am discussing that uh, the estimate itself is not a point estimate, may not be a point estimate. It will be a variable estimate. That means there will be a range, and for that range there will be a confidence. So, so now let us understand this quality of prediction. So, for example, say there is a statistician. He is telling you that I am 100% confident that the average age is between 0 to 100 years. So, can you imagine? He is 100% sure. But do you give any kind of value or any kind of worth to this type of statement? Even if he is 100% confident, but see the range 0 to 100, anything, any age you give, so that will fall within 0 to 100. So that's why he is 100% confident. So useless. So next one is uh, person. This is person 1 and this is 2. The second person is saying, I am just 20% confident that the age is between 30 to 35 years, say. So here also you see he is specifying a range that is very tiny, very narrow, right? 30 to 35, just 5 years of gap. But his confidence is very poor. He is only 20% confident that the average age is between 30 to 35 years. So this is also not very useful. This is useless. This is useless statement, and this is also useless. So then what is useful? Suppose a particular statistician is telling that he or she is 95% confident that the age lies between 30 to 50 years. So see, the range is not very large. It is not like 0 to 100. It is There is a moderate range of 20 years. 20 years. And but the confidence is also very high. Confidence is high. Confidence is quite high, and the range is also not very wide. So therefore, this type of statement or this type of analysis or say reporting is actually useful. This is useful. So we will say that the quality of prediction for this person 1 and 2 is very poor, while the quality of prediction for person 3 is quite good. Okay. So now let us understand what the statistician will do in his or her actual analysis process. So first of all, he or she will start with a question. What is the question you are trying to answer? So that is the primary thing that should be the focus. And then again, I am telling you that confidence interval is required. That means how much, I should not say interval here. Just ignore this interval part. Okay. The confidence of judgment that is required, and the accuracy or the margin of error. What is margin of error and all these things we will define after some time. So don't worry about that. Just clearly understand the accuracy part. That means the range that we discussed in the last slide, 30 to 35 or whatever it is. And the confidence is the percentage part, 95% or whatever it is. So the question to be answered, the confidence level and the accuracy, these three things is the primary things from which the work will start. Now what? Now suppose there is a question and a confidence level has been decided and the accuracy also has been decided. That means it is not decided, it will be an output after some time. So the first step is basically the sampling part. So what is sampling? The statistician does not have access to the entire data, the entire population. So he or she will start picking samples from that population and then analyze those samples. So that is the second step. What is the second step? Second step is the analysis of the sample in terms of descriptive statistics. So the first step was sampling. The next step is descriptive statistics. So what are we going to do in descriptive statistics? We are going to take the summary of the sample data, use various tools like pie chart or histogram or any other tool to actually visualize the data and try to understand what the actually the data is telling just visually, not by using any statistical methods or any inferential statistics methods, just using the graphical tools and charting tools. We will try to see whether the question is answered. So I would like to give you an example. For example, say the last question. I am telling you my hypothesis. So we have not defined these things yet. Hypothesis, you don't know what is hypothesis. Just for the time being, assume that it is a statement. So I am giving a statement that the average age is 40 years. 40 years is the average age of citizens in New York. So, will we agree or not? So, for that, we are sampling some data, taking the sample age of, the age of some sample citizens in New York, and then maybe taking the averages and making the summary of the data in terms of descriptive statistics and charting tools. Okay, so using those descriptive statistics and charting tools, for example, you get the average age has to be 39. 39 is the average sample mean. Say this is the sample mean. So it is 39. I was telling 40. So that means it is not correct. 40 is not correct. So is that analysis proper? Probably not, because it is based on a sample estimate, sample data, and it is not matching with exactly, it will never exactly match with our initial hypothesis. So it will be near to 40 or maybe far from 40. That's it. Sample data cannot be exactly matching with the hypothesis. So that does not mean that the hypothesis is false. So in order to carry on the actual analysis, we must perform the inferential statistics. So here, so what is the inferential statistics? So we will take the output from the descriptives in terms of our sample data and try to see whether the premise of assumption is correct in terms of sampling distribution, and this will be done using inferential statistics. So please understand the steps here. Firstly, we will do sampling, then we will analyze the sample and do our descriptive statistics and visualize the data and come with some sample estimates, and then whether those estimates are actually answering my question or not, that will be judged or established using inferential statistics. So that is the complete game of statistics. If you understand this slide properly, then in the next course of videos you will understand the entire process. So that will be helpful. So please remember these three points. So one is sampling, two is descriptive statistics, and three is inferential statistics. So if you can remember that in this slide I have covered this. So in part 1 we will discuss descriptive statistics. In part 3 we have inferential statistics, and in order to bridge the gap, so if you don't understand probability and distribution, you cannot understand inferential statistics. So that's why probability and distribution is in part 2. And after we have completed these three parts, we will mm, study sampling theory. You may ask that why sampling goes in the last step, because sampling is actually in the first step. We just define sampling and assume that we have done sampling, and after we complete these two parts, then we will see what are the methods of sampling and how sampling is carried out. So that's the plan. If you have anything in mind, please use the comment section and let me know if you want to modify it in some any other way. So that's it for today's video. And if you have understood, then please comment and let me know if I can add anything or any other parts in this module. And I will try to explain each and everything clearly in this module. And mostly we will use statistical methods in terms of software, and manually we will not calculate so many other things. Statistical methods and applications and reports and analysis will be carried out using softwares. So like Microsoft Excel or Minitab or maybe SPSS. So that's it for now. This is a short video just to introduce the subject, and let us wait for the next video that will come in the next week. Thank you so much for watching this video.